what is our discussion part? Palpation of the patient. What are the steps when we palpate the examine the lady clinically for abdomen. Okay, and we'll learn about how to assess the CPD also, cephalopedia disproportion, how to make out. Okay, the palpation usually it is done at term lady or whenever she is in labor. So I am interested in knowing the presentation position and the line. Okay. In this case is first step is you look for the height of the uterus, fundal height. So I use index finger of my left hand. Put your finger at the Ziffy sternum. Palpate the level of where first resistance is felt. Keep the ulnar border of your left hand. So you have to keep the ulnar border of your left hand. This is the fundal height. If it is 4 centimeters, 4 fingers or 4 centimeters below the Ziffy sternum, it is full term with the flanks are bulging. If it is up to Ziffy sternum, it is 36 weeks. If it is 4 fingers below, it is 32 weeks. It's like that. So 32 weeks, 36 weeks, 40 weeks at 32 weeks only, but the flanks are bulging. So I should say it is full term uterus. Full term means 40 weeks with flanks bulging. Okay. So that comment is there on height of uterus, fundal height. Next is fundal palpation. Third one is lateral palpation, then first pelvic. Okay. So what is fundal palpation? I'll keep 4 fingers of my both hand over the midline, over the fundus of the uterus, and palpate with this hand. Make out that there is a soft bulky breech is felt. It is not ballotable, means I cannot make it out, I cannot toss it. So it is not ballotable, it is bulky, it is soft. So my interpretation will be soft, bulky, non-ballotable structure is felt, probably it is breech. Next one is lateral palpation. So here the limbs are on this side, the back is on this side. I'll hold it like this so you can make out well. So the back is on left side and the limbs are on this side. So this is the back on left side. So how do you palpate? The second step is I palpate with the fingers of my both hands. 4 fingers. I don't use tipped at all. So 4 fingers on one side, 4 fingers on this side. Palpate with this. Palpate like this. This should be the method. Don't poke them like this. Palpate like this. So uniform back is felt on left side. Okay. Then limbs are felt. Irregular limbs are felt on right side. So what will be my finding? I'll make sure the back is on left side. How do I confirm the back is on left side? I auscultate for the fetal heart from midpoint of the anterior superior iliac spine and the umbilicus. I auscultate here. I can hear the fetal heart. That is how I confirm the back is on left side. The commonest position is VLOA, vertex, left occipital anterior. If it goes posteriorly, I cannot feel the back, or back is felt extreme in the flanks. That is okay. But let us learn about VLOA position only, the commonest one. Fine. The second palpation is back is on left side, or lateral palpation. Back is on left side, limbs are felt on right side. Now first pelvic grip examination. In vertex presentation, the head is well flexed like this, but the head enters in primigravida at term. Suppose she is not at term, she has 36 weeks. The head is likely to be floating. Okay, how do I make out? So first pelvic grip, you can comment only about 2 things. You may say it is floating, you may say it is fixed. Okay, primigravida at term, always say head is fixed, because if it is floating, then there is some problem. So whenever it is floating, look for occipito-posterior position, look for contracted pelvis. It is like that. So primigravida at term means head should be fixed, because it enters into the pelvic cavity 15 days before expected date of delivery, because of laxity of the pelvic bones, which occurs with the release of relaxin hormone in the primi. That is one point. Second point, the tone of the abdominal muscle is very good in primi. So it pushes with the abdominal tone, it pushes the fetus or head into the pelvic cavity and the head becomes fixed. And formation of the lower uterine segment occurs 15 days before expected date of delivery in primigravida. However, in multigravida, it occurs with the effacement of the cervix in labor. So that is how in primigravida you must make out whether the head is floating or fixed. Usually it should be fixed. Now, if your finding is head is floating, means how do I do? How do I do the first pelvic grip? I keep ulnar border of my right hand over the pubis symphysis, 4 fingers on one side, thumb on other side. Okay. I don't move the hand. I move the fingers like this. This movement, this type of movement is done to know whether the head is floating or the head is fixed. When I cannot move it. When I can move it, it's floating. When I cannot move it, means it is fixed. What happens when the head is fixed? Means occiput has entered into the pelvic cavity. Sinciput is here. Head is floating means both poles, occiput and sinciput, they are above the pelvic brim. Okay. So my comment on first pelvic rib will be head is floating. If she is multi at term, if she is primary at term, head should be fixed. Okay, understood? No confusion. Now next, your comment should be on the second pelvic rib examination. How do I do it? Second pelvic rib examination, I change my position like this and palpate from this side and this side. Go on palpating the poles of the fetal head. This is sinciput, this is the occiput. On the side of the back will be occiput. So if I start palpating from this side will be the occiput. This is sinciput on the other side. If both poles are at the same level, head is deflexed. If occiput at a lower level, sinciput at a higher level, it is well flexed. Understand? If head has entered into the pelvic cavity, it is not palpable, means engaged head. Second pelvic rib examination, how do you comment in the examination? For the Viva, how do you comment? Your comment should be, if the head is floating, you should say, I have not done second pelvic rib examination because it is deflexed. When the head is deflexed, it is bound to be sinciput and occiput. Head is floating, that's why it is deflexed. By second pelvic rib examination, I estimate whether the head is well flexed or deflexed. If it is floating, it is understood it is deflexed. So your comment will be second pelvic rib examination. I have not done as my patient is not in labor, moreover the head is floating. Once with the uterine contraction, the head will enter, the occiput will enter, and that time we should assess whether it is well flexed or deflexed. So remember, second pelvic rib examination from this side and this side is done to know the degree of deflection or flexion of the head. Okay. What next? One more thing which you should learn, the engagement of the head. When both poles of the fetal head, sinciput and occiput, they enter into the pelvic cavity, biparietal diameter also crosses the pelvic cavity. If I do PV examination, in these cases, it is at the zero station, at the level of ischial spine. What do you understand by engaged head? I repeat again. 3 sentences you must utter. First one is, both poles, sinciput and occiput, cross the pelvic brim. No pole of the fetal head is palpable per abdomen. And on PV examination, the head is at zero station. Understood? So 3 sentences. BPD and sinciput, occiput both sides cross. Head is not palpable per abdomen, and PD it is at zero station. This is how we explain about engagement. One more thing which I want to discuss is the how to assess the cephalopelvic disproportion or CPD. In these cases, the head is floating, the patient is at term, but sometimes this floating head may be due to inlet contraction, and I am interested in knowing whether this inlet is adequate for the fetal head when she goes into the labor. Now how shall I assess it? I can give exaggerated lithotomy position, or I can ask the lady to proper position. I will give her with the increased tone of the abdominal muscle. The head may enter into the pelvic cavity. I may feel that head has gone into the pelvic cavity. That is known as Purandare method. Okay. The routine method is the Mandrokas method. Mandrokas modification of Muller's method, which we practice clinically. So pay attention to it. So how do you assess the cephalopelvic disproportion? It is assessed simultaneously by abdominal palpation and PV examination. What do you do? Exaggerated lithotomy position is done. Means the legs, thighs are separated. Patient should be comfortable. You do the PV examination and try to feel for the head. And your thumb you use. Can you come this side? This side. So I feel for the head. I feel for the head. And simultaneously I feel for the thumb at the parietal bone. Okay. So I have done the PV and feeling for the parietal bone. Now when the head enters into the pelvic cavity and on PV examination the head is at zero station, there is no disproportion. It is known as patient has got mild degree of contraction because I have pushed the head, but it has crossed the pelvic brim, and on PV examination it has descended up to 0 station, and it has entered, this parietal bone has entered into the pelvic cavity. Okay, in borderline pelvic contraction, the parietal bone of the head is in line with the pubic symphysis. You remember like this: borderline pelvic contraction, parietal bone is in line with the pubic symphysis. Okay, here trial of labor is given. Next is major degree of pelvic contraction. The parietal bone overhangs the pubic symphysis. That is how you comment. Let us think over with the fetal head properly. Okay, when the head enters into the pelvic cavity, there is mild degree of pelvic contraction with the pressure I am pushing it. So there is mild degree of pelvic contraction. It was floating. CPD we assess at the pelvic brim. Okay, so it has entered into the pelvic cavity. On PV it is at 0 station. The parietal bone has entered. Okay, it is mild degree. Patient is for normal onset of labor and normal delivery. Okay. Second problem is when the parietal bone is in line with the pubic symphysis, it is borderline pelvic contraction, means inlet contraction she has got, and here in these cases she is for trial of labor. Remember this way: borderline pelvis, parietal bone is in line with the pubic symphysis. What is the treatment? Trial of labor. Okay. What next? If there is major degree of pelvic contraction, this pubic bone overhangs the pubic symphysis. Clinically I can make up. My fingers are too big. It has not entered into the pelvic cavity at all. Moreover, it overhangs the pubic symphysis. It is major degree of pelvic contraction. Patient is for elective cesarean section. That is how only by clinical examination I make out at term whether what is my plan of management. When she goes into the labor, whether she is for vaginal delivery or she is for cesarean section, that I plan 15 days before expected date of delivery in primigravida, and also in multigravida I can plan. Pelvic assessment is usually required in primi. Multigravida, once normal delivery, full-term normal delivery means her pelvis is adequate. There is no need to assess the pelvis, but with the recurrent childbirth, the baby weight increases, the flat pelvis results. That's why it is important to assess all patients at term. Thank you so much.